We're going to look at number 1 first. As we're looking at number 1, what information do we know?
Slope and the y-intercept.
Yeah, I know slope, and I know the y-intercept. So I'm going to go to my y-intercept, -5. And that's right there. And I know I have a slope of -1/2. So rise of -1, a run of 2. That puts me right about there. Now, it says it's less than. So what does that tell me about my line? Dashed. It's like that little bus downtown that I see them promoting at stuff, but I've never ridden on it.
Are we supposed to write that?
So just pick up your pencil for little chunks of time and then put it back down while you move your hand. Okay. Now there's a couple ways to figure out which side to shade. I'm going to teach you my favorite way first because it works with all lines, and then I'll teach you the slope-intercept specific. But my favorite thing to do is, as long as it's a line that doesn't go through the origin, I like to test the origin. So origin is 0, 0. If I were to plug 0 into my inequality, I would get 0 is less than -5. Is that true or false?
False.
So 0, 0 should not be part of my solution. That then tells me that I should shade below. Right? You guys see that? Okay. The other way we can kind of do it with this one is because it's in slope-intercept form, it's in reference to y. And the y value, is that up or down on a graph? Up, down, side, or side? What is y?
Up, down.
Up and down. So if y needs to be less than that, that's going to signify below my line. But that'll only work with slope-intercept. It won't work with standard form. So the origin's pretty easy. You can test any point, by the way. I could test any point above or below the line, but the origin is just the easiest one to test. All right. Let's actually do. I changed my mind already. Which one we'll do next? Let's do number 4. Y equals 4/3 x. I'm picking this one because we can't test the origin with this one.
Isn't it 4/3 x?
I start writing equations because
Okay.
it is less than. I just, equation mode. It's greater than, oh man. I'm just trying to see how many times I can mess it up. There it is, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So, what's my y-intercept?
0.
0, 0. My slope is 4/3. Is it going to be solid or dashed?
Dash. Oh.
Okay, I got this dashed line going. Now, I'd like to test the origin, but can I?
Wait, it's negative in the
No, because it goes to the origin. Because it only
So,
Wait.
I can't test the origin. I mean, I can, but it's just going to say 0 is greater than 0. But it's on the line, right? So I don't know which way to shade. I'm going to test this point. This would be my choice right here. You see this point? Who thinks they can tell me why I'm testing that point? Cal? The y is 0, and the x is 3. What's beneficial about an x value of 3?
Can cancel out.
It'll cross cancel on. It'll cross simplify on my 4/3, and that's just easier. It's easy math, quick maths, all right? So I multiply 4/3 by 3, I get 4. Is 0 greater than 4? Okay, so this point right here, 0, 3, does not satisfy my equation, which means this side has to be shaded. So do you see, what's kind of cool about this is you don't have to test a point and get it to work. You can take your information about your point not working and use it still, right? It's not like a wasted test. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I like.
Cool. Also, if in reference to y needs to be greater, so that's above, right? You guys seeing that in reference to y? So looking at number 12, 2x minus 3y is less than -12. All right. Oops. I want to change this Guys, just for notes, let's change this to an or equal to. You can change it on your paper. I just want to get some variety here. Change it to an or equal to. Just put a line under. Just to change it up. We haven't had an or equal to yet. All right, so what do we notice? What form am I in? What's the strength of standard form? Intercept. So I can look at this and get an x-intercept of -6 and a y-intercept of 4. Right? So you could mess with this and get in slope-intercept form, but why would you? You know? Everybody good with what I just did? X is -6, y is 4. I understand that looks like a little bit like a negative. So here's my, am I going to go solid or dashed? Solid. That's why I changed it to that or equal to get that solid line game going right there. Boom. Game. Not a game. What do you think this is? Come on.
Wait.
All right, so here's my line. What looks like the easiest point to test here?
0, 0.
The origin. So if I slap in that 0, 0, I get 0 is less than or equal to -12. Is that true? 0 is less than -12? No, so origin's not true. That means I got shade up here. All over my work. The origin test, pretty nice test. You can test any point. Just the origin's the easiest, all right? Okay, we got one more. Number 11. Yeah. Yes, you put them both in and see if your inequality is true, like on your homework last night. 0 for x, 5 for y. So if you want to test this point right here, or this point right here. Okay? So 0, 5. So 2 times 0 minus 3 times 5 needs to be less than or equal to -12. So -15 is less than or equal to -12. Is that true? Yeah, so it's in the shaded spot. That's just way more work than the origin if the origin's an option. Okay, good question, Cal. All right, we're looking at number 11. Bother anybody that we went 12, 11? I don't care. Okay. I did it for a reason. I have reasons, okay? Now, how are those intercepts looking on this guy? Not very saucy, all right? 15/8, not that cool. So, what can I do since I know how to do algebra? I can solve for y and get in slope-intercept form. Let's do it to it. We'll subtract 8x from both sides. -5y is greater than -8x minus 15. By the way, remember when I had you solve for y's in our equations unit toward the beginning of the year? Still happening, right? Okay. Now, here is the number one spot somebody make a mistake. Y needs to be less than 8/5 x plus 3. Because I divide by a negative with my inequality, everything changes to its opposite. All right, so let's go to our y-intercept 3. Do you notice we can't go up 8? So let's go down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left, the two negatives make it a positive line. So that slope of 8/5 needs to be true between any 2 points on the line, right? So I still got 8/5. Everybody seeing that? Okay. Now, I know we have slope-intercept here, but I still like to go back to here and test the origin myself. Is 0 greater than -15?
Yes.
All right, shade the origin side up. Let's double check it though. In relation to y, is it underneath? Y is less than? It is. It is. Cool, guys.